If what we trade is more important than how we trade it, that means that focusing on a set of symbols that have the highest probability of follow through is what's going to help us grow our account. I mean, that's all with everything that we're doing in trading, investing, any kind of financial endeavor. We are looking to grow our account. And the best way to do it is to find things that are in uptrends. That's the thesis, right? And that's the thesis of my, frankly, 35 years of trading, focusing on things that have the highest probability for follow through. And that takes me to a website that many of you have probably watched me talk about and use. I'm a huge fan of this. It's koyfin.com, koyfin.com. And I use the market dashboards, and this is a look at the U.S. sectors and the U.S. industries. Now notice you can check whichever ones you want to look at. And this is a group that includes the sectors that are heavily weighted in the indices, a number of defensive sectors like the XLP staples and the XLU utilities, and then also things like jets, agribusiness, insurance, regional banks, basic materials, oil and gas services, oil and gas explorers. This is software, metals and mining, and gold miners. So there's a big list here. But by the way, if you just freeze this video, you can see the list of symbols that I'm watching, and then you can check them off here on your side when you log into this Koyfin. By the way, this is a free site. I've been using this site for forever. It's a big part of how we find relative outperformers. This is why most often the list of symbols that we're looking at in the Sector Secrets Mastery have nothing to do with where the headlines are, have nothing to do with where the conversation and the drama is taking place. It has nothing to do with our favorite symbols, right? There's a lot of symbols that just end up on the favorite. It has nothing to do with this, and it has everything to do with performance. And that's where a lot of times the symbols and the setups and ultimately the trades that I take are just in places that most traders aren't looking. You know, case in point, this has got to be the hottest story right now in any symbol, in any market, in any symbol list. Taking advantage of the long side of gold, whether that be the future side, whether that be using the ETF options, whether that be even the futures options. This is a beautiful uptrend that we continue to take advantage of. And when we have uptrends, we have follow through. And when we have follow through, that's where account growth takes place. So we're just going to start with looking at why this is a symbol we want to take a look at, note the characteristics, and then find other examples of this. So first of all, this is an overall uptrend. The bottom row of this indicator I have running at the bottom is a real-time assessment of momentum, MOMO, and trend. If I have an uptrend, that's exactly what I want to prioritize. When we have the consistency of the green candles, which we do, this is long calls or nothing. And one of the things I shared with traders, if you want to look at 3 really easy rules to adopt, that, you know, if you're starting or if you're struggling, right, is first of all, the type of account that you're trading. I'm a big fan of a cash account. And in that cash account, I like to focus on long calls and long puts. And why is that? Because this is the easiest way to navigate around the pattern day trading rule, right? Cash account, long calls, long puts. These are directional trades. The third thing that I'll say is if you're struggling to grow an account is focus on, at least for a short period of time, make the bulk of your watch list uptrends. In other words, trade trends only. Yes, we can get around to looking at choppy, bullish environments, but if you're struggling to grow an account, try these 3 things. Don't limit yourself with pattern day trading rule. Stick with something basic and effective like long calls and long puts. And you know, so you might say, Rog, we're not even looking at long puts. Agreed. Long calls in uptrends. Whenever traders are struggling, I always recommend this first, and then kind of a bonus recommendation for traders who are struggling. Whatever number of trades you tend to put on habitually, cut it in half. So if normally, every month you're taking, say, 24 trades, force yourself to trade only 12 opportunities. It will automatically put your focus on the best setups, not just anything that meets the criteria, but focus on the best setups, focus on the best alignment. And that's a really easy way to do this. Cut whatever you're doing in half, 50% of your typical activity. All right. So that's a good baseline there. Now, if we're taking a look at the strong sectors, which is what this video is all about, but also the why of it, here are the strong sectors. Here are the ones that I would highly recommend: gold miners, semiconductors, technology, energy, metals, and mining. Those are the top 5. So what I'm going to take you through now is a process that we do in the Sector Secrets Mastery. And in the premium video, I'm going to get into some of the setups in these 5 sectors, these leading, the leaders, which is very different than leading. The leaders, the strongest, right? In a list of a lot of sectors and a lot of stocks, these are the strongest. All right, so let's get to it. The way that I scan, very simple. All right, this is the process. This makes it really, really easy, repeatable, and effective. And that is to look at all the stocks that are heavily weighted in the sector at once. So let's start off with GDX. First go round is I want to narrow that down to the symbols that I want to trade. And by the way, if you're struggling with this process, if this is kind of a hole in the game, please remember, there's still enrollment for the workshops, for the class that we're starting, the Sector Secrets Mastery Immersion. And if you haven't yet checked that out, please do, because I like to remind all of our traders, anytime we have a class, it's going to be the best opportunity to pick up the tools that I'm using, like the top tier indicators, like the hourly price movement ranges, like the daily price movement ranges, and the automated support and resistance tool called the Darvis 3.0. Here's how it works. Take a look at everything in this group that's moving higher. This is why we have a long position in GDX. This is a current open long position in this, and it is actually the 21 March 41 calls. And it's taken all day, but GDX is tracking with gold, actually punching up above the open, and it's on a really good path. But this is one of the places we want to look. When there's enough strength in the group, I'm going to go with the sector ETF, not necessarily an individual stock. All right, next up was semiconductors on this list of top 5. Once again, I'm going to go through this list and see if anything meets the criteria of an uptrend. Not much does. However, LRCX, KLAC, Intel, those are going to be your best bets for strength. That's your top tier. Second tier, I'd keep an eye on Qualcomm, and I'd leave it at that. Maybe NVIDIA, if we can get 2 more green candles on this chart. So if Wednesday and Thursday are green candles, by Friday we might be able to look at NVIDIA, and that just gives us a better probability of follow through. All right, next is XLK. This is technology. This is where we have heavily weighted Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and a whole host of other symbols, but those are the bulk of the symbols. And once again, I'll take a look at the group, find where the trends are. What should be on the list? Cisco. Adobe's a little spendy, but that would be on the list. That would be the top tier. You can keep it on ACN. Nice string of green candles. And if Apple can print 2 more green candles by Friday, this could end up on the list. All right, what do you want to keep off the list? Really simple. No, no, and no, right? Just that simple. Wait for things to give you a look of higher probability follow through. All right, the next one we're going to go through is energy. I'm not sure that I trust crude oil strength to continue, but if energy is showing signs of relative outperformance and I can see crude moving, same reason I'm in gold and gold miners, maybe the XLE stocks become something that we want to look at. It's a little early to the game because crude is still struggling. However, if you're looking for relative outperformers, there they are. Not too many of them, but that's where they are. You got PSX and MPC. And the last one is a sector that not many traders look at. This is the metals and mining. If silver's strong, copper's strong, gold's strong, metals in general is strong, the metals and mining, steel would be another one. Steel, aluminum. The metals and mining is another great place to look. And it looks almost as good as the gold miners connection. So once again, take a look at what are most likely to be symbols that continue higher. There are a few other sectors I'll take a look at in the premium video, mostly around social sentiment and financials, but that's a wrap. And we're going to take a look at this group of stocks, the ones that I've just walked y'all through, the relative outperformers. Put them on your list. We'll talk about them and revisit them again in the next free video on Friday. All right, gang, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the inside in the premium videos. And again, if you haven't checked out the Mastery Immersion, you can check it out at my.simplertrading.com/immersion. Hey traders, Raghi from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.